Animals have been featured in artwork since the beginning of time, from the Stone Age, ancient Egypt, medieval times, the Renaissance, to postmodernism. Animals, the majestic beasts that own the earth. Art began long ago in the Stone Ages, ranging from 30,000 BC to 3000 BC. The art was in form of paintings, murals, drawings, etchings, and carvings on the inside of caves and rock shelters. Other forms consisted of small sculptures made from bone and ivory carved into animal-like figures. The art tells us a story about how ancient people hunted or what kind of animals were in the region at the time. Here we have a woolly mammoth etched into a cave. The woolly mammoth, the ancestor of the elephant, covered in fur, lived throughout the Ice Age and became extinct. If it weren't for the depictions on the cave walls, archaeologists wouldn't be able to construct an image of the animal matching fossils they have found. The Peshmerle cave paintings are from around 25,000 BC, located in the middle of France, and is known to be France's most ancient pieces of art. One focus of the cave paintings is the dappled horses of Peshmerle. It features a 4-meter long picture of a horse with dark spots and a few stencils of hands. Moving forward to 3100 BC, we have dated the first hieroglyphs found in ancient Egypt. Painted on the insides of cave walls, tombs, and Egyptian temples, the ancient Egypts made paints using pigments from berries and other plants in the region. They believed animals embodied the spirits of deities and were therefore sacred. Here we have the dog-headed baboon, believed to be the embodiment of the god of riding and the god of the moon. The cobra was believed to symbolize the goddess of fertility and protector of the pharaoh. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a massive statue of the body of a lion with the head of a pharaoh. Made from bedrock of the Giza Plateau, this statue is believed to have been commissioned by the 4th dynasty king of Egypt, Khafre. There is a theory that this statue was full of colorful paint in its heyday, and the mythology states it was meant to protect the pyramids and symbolize ferocity. It is the largest monolith statue in the world, meaning it was carved from a single piece of stone rather than being assembled. Fast forward to 500 AD and the fall of the Roman Empire, and we have the Middle Ages, or the medieval times. Europeans enjoyed painting exotic animals not endemic to their region based on things they had heard. They had not ever seen these animals, which resulted in some pretty funky pictures. A drawing of a crocodile in an old encyclopedia seen here shows a very funny looking creature with scaly skin, a monkey-like head, and a curly long tail. The crocodile shown here was painted later on and a little bit more accurate than the previous. Here we have a depiction of an elephant logged with no date. This elephant has more of a boar-like appearance, which makes me believe someone was describing to the painter a pig rather than a majestic elephant. A common pattern of art from the Middle Age is paintings with a frame-like border with the painting and using white highlights fruitfully. Another thing you'll notice is there is very few use of straight lines in the paintings, so the artist wanted to keep the overall mood very whimsical and fluid. Moving along in history to a time of refinement and finer things, the Renaissance lasted from 1300 to 1600 AD. This was an age of enlightenment, rediscovery of science, and a newfound appreciation of fine arts. Dogs during this time period were known as an artist's best friend since they were the most domesticated and favored species of humans. Because of the dog's kind and loyal nature, there seemed to always be a dog around for the painter to look at for inspiration. In a satire mourning over a nymph, the dog to the right of the painting is doing what a dog from modern times would do if this scene were a real situation. Allegory of Prudence by Titian depicts 3 male figures on top of a lion and 2 ferocious dogs. Towards the top of the painting is Latin words that have been translated into different things. At least since the 5th century, this 3-headed creature has been regarded as an embodiment of time, with the voracious wolf representing the past, which devours the memory of all things, the vigorous lion representing the present, and the dog representing the future bounding forward. Dogs seemed to be a popular animal for paintings during the Renaissance. Here we have two hunting dogs tied to a tree stump by Jacopo Bassano. Bassano's painting is one of the first dog portraits in art history. This realistic rendering of two hunting dogs elevated the status of the animals even further. In Renaissance Europe, hunting dogs became a valuable commodity and would have conveyed ideas of wealth and status to the viewer. Finally, we arrive at modernism, the art of our time. Beginning with realism in 1850, Rosa Bonheur was a French artist from the 1800s who created many realistic paintings of animals, mostly all of animals from the French region. Rather than being a seamstress, Rosa spent her teenage years on a farm studying the movement and the form of animals so she could get her realistic drawings correctly. In her late years, after selling the horse fair, she bought an estate where she raised lions, also studying them closely. From this, she created Couching Lion in 1872. The painting shows a lion basking in the sun, probably on the landscape of Rosa's estate, with the French mountain ranges in the background. Animals have played a large role in art, symbolizing, embodying, and just as human companions, nature's creatures are amongst the most beautiful things that can be captured in art.